Hello and welcome to the Critically Clueless. Today we are reviewing Age of Wonders 4. And this game has been published by Paradox Interactive, developed by Triumph Studios, and will set you back around £42 depending on which platform you're buying it on. It's available on the Xbox, the PlayStation and the PC. This is only available for the next gen consoles, however, so old gen consoles unfortunately are not going to be able to play this game. Now, what is Age of Wonders? Now, this is a sequel to the Age of Wonders franchise. So if you're familiar with any of the Age of Wonders games, then you should be at least familiar with some of the core mechanics of this game. This is a 4X strategy game with turn-based combat. Now, that sounded like one hell of a mouthful. What exactly is this? Well, 4X strategy game, this is a civilization builder. You build up a faction in which you can control almost everything about them. We will talk a bit more about that a little bit later. On top of that, you can also build yourself your very own world, where again, you get control over a lot. The basic idea of this game is that you have to build up your throne city. You can improve it by improving certain buildings and bring it in buildings that will give you more gold, more draft, more production. Or of course, if you happen to go down that route, more mana and more knowledge. And as you build up your throne city, hopefully you'll be building up an army as well. Now, there are tons of technologies for you to research, and there's like 6 different affinities, 6 different core paths that you can go down. So that way you can recruit and unlock more and more interesting troops. And when it comes down to battle, not only do you use your hero, your king, whoever it is that you created, but you also use the troops you brought along into this battle as well. On top of that, there are countless modifiers and buffs for you to use in order to give you the edge in battle, including in combat spells. Now, the combat operates in a turn-based hexagon format. It would be very familiar for anyone that has ever played any kind of XCOM game. And I've got to say, it's so familiar. It works really well. The combat was actually just so easy to slip straight into. It's probably the least complicated part about this game, despite having a lot of a learning curve. And I really should add that the tutorial in this game is actually surprisingly good. Too often we are frustrated by 4X strategy games because they are so overly complicated and the tutorial that comes with them just isn't up to par. However, in Age of Wonders 4, the tutorial is brilliant, absolutely breathtaking. Every single line is voice acted, and the way it operates it is that anytime you, the player, encounters something new, the tutorial will kick in and start telling you and explaining that mechanic. This game is also voice acted. There'll be many lines of dialogue as you play through your game, especially if you play the story modes as well. At the beginning of every story map and at the end of every story map, there is another bit of that story for it to be, tweaking in and telling you. I think where Age of Wonders 4 excels is the replayability that this game has. No 2 playthroughs are ever going to be the same. There are so many different options. As I mentioned before, there are 6 different infinities which you can pick and choose from. Now, that's not just like the spells you use or the troops you're able to recruit, but that also relates to how your faction, your civilization actually evolves, because based on the choices that you make in game, your very faction will evolve themselves. Like, for instance, you may give them ability to grow wings and horns. Well, that's going to have certain buffs and debuffs, and again, with that, your faction will change. And why is that important? Because on top of everything else that this game has to offer, another layer of that is that when you complete the game, your hero and your faction will ascend into the pantheon of the game. Now, I've completed quite a few maps. I've had quite a few people ascend already, and it's really cool because you can set them for the faction or for the hero, and you can have them appear within your game and be reusable again. I love this idea. Also, as you complete this game, you earn extra points in which you can unlock more customization options. Not that there isn't enough already. Now, this is a 4X strategy game, so it is very, very in-depth. It's very complicated. There's a ton of different resources and elements and mechanics for you to kind of get on board with. One of the things I liked quite a lot about this game is that not only is there a overview world map, but there's actually an under map as well, which you can colonize and explore. In fact, you can make up your very own race that is dedicated to living underground as opposed to above ground. Like I said, when I said this game gives you options, it gives you so many options. It's a beautifully put together game, and I've been thoroughly enjoying my time within it. All that being said, I am playing on the Xbox Series S, and when a game gets so overstressed and we're talking late into the game, I have had my Xbox dashboard once or twice, unfortunately. I feel like I have to put it in because normally I do tell you how the game actually performs. However, this game handles it very, very well. There's an autosave feature within it, and I didn't lose any progress whatsoever, so that doesn't seem like such a huge deal. I honestly think that Age of Wonders 4 could well be the best strategy game of 2023. The maps are huge and so detailed. There's so many things for you to interact with and play around with. And we're not talking about just your civilization and what you're doing. Like, the map is just littered with things for you to interact with, little dungeons for you to explore that have their own backstory and reward system. And I haven't even touched on the diplomacy that this game has. There are countless free cities scattered around in which you can vassalize, and there are other NPC factions in which you can interact with, ally up against, or of course declare war on. All in all, Age of Wonders 4 is the complete package, and it gets a solid 8.5 out of 10 from me. And of course, if you stuck around to the very end of the review, a big thank you to you. Don't forget to comment Red Banana down below. Just confuse all those new to the channel or that didn't watch to the very end. And don't forget, we have actually released our very own dystopian sci-fi novel, and it's available on Amazon, and you can pick it up completely free on Kindle Unlimited. It is called 7 Broken and Bound, and you can find the link down in the description. But until next time, I've been a monk, we've been Critically Clueless, and I will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.
Time has returned. Free from their imprisonment, ancient wizard kings come, seeking lost magics and new realms to conquer, turning all whom they encounter, by choice or by force. Through strife, champions arise.